Hello everybody, welcome to 10 Cal Ranch. We're going to do a little video today about some things to help you and your horse stay safe in and around the horse trailer. If you guys are like me and you haul horses enough, the odds of you having a small incident or wreck with the horse trailer is pretty good. I know that myself, I've had more than one. Fortunately, none of them been serious, but I think there's some things here worth talking about. So I got old King here. He's the demonstrator of the day, and he's a colt that we raised. His mother's Macy. She was on the last video that we did about some horsemanship tricks, and he's been my go-to guy. He's just coming 5. We roped some big winter calves on him. Did a video a couple weeks ago. I'll put that video in the description below. And so this video today we're talking about is horse trailer just kind of safety, but it's not what I would call a horse trailer loading video. I did one of those a while ago, and I'll put the description to that video, or excuse me, I'll put that link in the description below also. So anyway, let's get started. Before we do, I want to tell you guys thanks for subscribing. We've had a ton of growth in the channel recently, and I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people that have subscribed recently. And if you haven't, just please take a minute and do so. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the knot. I tie my horses in the trailer, and the trailer we're going to be using today is a stock trailer, so we're going to talk about some different things with that. But quick release knot, and there's 2 different kind of knots I've been using. I'll show you the one I like the best first, and I actually just learned about this just maybe a year or so ago. So I've been tying horses up for 40 years, and I learned a better way what I feel like to do it. And sometimes they call it the bank robber's knot. So here's your rail. You take the rope and put a loop under it like that, and start with the loop here. And then you take this end that's connected to the horse, put through that loop. You take the tail end, put through that loop. There you go. That's the knot. And of course, I always put the tail through. The thing I like about this is when you pull that, you're free just like that. So that is the knot that I prefer. The knot that I used for the first 3 decades of my horse riding career is, I call it a manger knot. So you bring it underneath and bring it like this and almost create a figure 8. Put this end through here and through that side. There you go. No, I tied it wrong. See, it's been so long since I've done that knot because I've been using that bank robber's knot. I did this one wrong. I went under instead of over. So you go over the top of the rail, create the figure 8 right there, put it through there, just like so. The difference between the bank robber knot and this one is this one's a slip knot. So the more they pull, the tighter it gets, and that can make it a little bit more difficult to untie. Still a quick release knot, but see how the rope is still over the rail? So that's why I prefer the other one better. So we're going to talk about that as we put it on the trailer. So the old bank robber knot here, and I just leave it a little bit loose. Put that tail through there, because when I inside the trailer, and I'll demonstrate this in a minute, I don't want to be yanking on that inside the trailer. I want this thing just to come just simple, slick, easy, just like that. So, all right, we're going to go over to the trailer now and show you some things over there. So we'll start out by tying your horse to the trailer. So around here, you know, on these small ranches, we all have these stock trailers. And the thing for me is I've got a mare, we call her Dottie, and she's a pawn son of a gun. So I don't ever tie her by these fender wells. I'll tie her up here and tie them. There's kind of a sweet spot. If you guys can see the length there, I've seen people tie the horses so long they can get their head down, they can get a foot over it, cause all kinds of wrecks. This is kind of, for me, that's kind of the sweet spot. He can stand comfortable, he don't have his head clear in the air, he's not so short that he can't wiggle around a little, but yet he's not so long that he can get his head down. So on my particular trailer, these fenders are just thin, paper thin aluminum. I've seen horses get their head down and get a halter caught underneath there. Can cut the horse, can cause all kinds of a wreck. So when you're tying your horse up, there's just kind of that sweet spot right there. Not too short, not too long. All right, we'll put him in the trailer. So if you guys notice when I lead my horse, see how I lead him with a little bit of length? You know, there's a lot of people that have the practice of leading a horse like this, and I'm not gonna say that's wrong. That's not how I like to do it. I like to have a little bit of length. All right, so for me, here again, we use stock trailers. The horses kind of have to jump in there. The trailers with the ramps, that's a little bit different scenario, but you know, we're hauling cows and horses and everything in the same trailer. So I give a little bit of length. I want to kind of get out of the horse's way and just let him hop on in. Just like that, he just hopped right in. So we talk about tying again. We tie him with this bank robber's knot up here. Put the loop through, or excuse me, put the tail through. And there again, I like to have just a little bit of length. If he's too long, he can get in trouble. If he's too short, it's uncomfortable for him. So that length is kind of that sweet spot with him. So now the next thing I want to talk about is backing the horses out. I know a lot of guys that do not back their horses out of the trailer, and I'm going to go ahead and back him out, and I'll explain to you why I like to do that. So I'm just asking him real quiet, and he just backs on out. Of course, he's done that a few times, but so this is the way I look at this. I've had a few bad experiences. So you take a horse that's leading out forward, and he takes that big step, and his leg is on that angle for that leg to go out from underneath him. If there's ice, even a dry asphalt parking lot, that can be very dangerous because that's slick. If a horse is backing out, so they're backing out of their trailer, and that leg is pretty straight hitting the ground. And instead of having this big jump out of the trailer, then he's backing out, and I feel like it's a lot safer. Do I jump my horses out forward sometimes? Of course I do. And there's times that we do that, but generally speaking, I back my horses out all the time, and I just feel like it's safer. So, one other thing I want to go over. I'm gonna have Carson hold the horse for just a second. So I got on this is a 20-foot stock trailer. It's got a center divider up there. There's a lot of times that we haul cows in the front. I can't even tell you, it's been so many that we'll go out on the desert, we'll find one or two pairs that's in the wrong place. We'll put them in the front, and then close that divider, put horses in the back. So if I'm gonna put him in there by himself, I'm gonna tie him up there as close as I can. If I'm not, I'm gonna turn him loose in there. And the reason being is because if he's on the very back of this trailer with say 2 or 3 other horses in this back compartment, and you open the gate and he steps his back foot out and his head's tied, that is a wreck. You're looking for your pocket knife to cut the rope, because he'll be pulling back, trying to get his legs under him. It's very dangerous. So I on that last horse on a stock trailer, I'll just tie the lead rope like that. Pop him on in there. So you just got to envision if there's 2 or 3 horses in there, he's just going to be standing right here on the back, and he'll just be loose. And that is, I've seen so many people do that where they tie that back horse in and can really cause you a pretty serious wreck. So we're kind of on the subject now of having horses loose in the trailer. I know a lot of people, especially ranching folks, it seems like that's how they prefer to haul them. Myself, I prefer not to do that, because them horses get in there and yeah, they get all turned around, all which ways, sideways, frontwards, backwards, get all comfortable. Well, sure enough, you're gonna have one of those knotheads that wants to chew on your saddle. And I've had horses that they come out of the trailer and the saddle springs are chewed off. it's not really a safety issue. It's just almost a pet peeve that to me, it's just better on your equipment to do that. So, okay, well, I think we're gonna wrap up the video today. I've got some other videos planned with just some horsemanship stuff. We did a video a couple weeks ago, 5 things not to do with your horse, and just talked about some general safety, horsemanship type topics. So we may do another one of those. If you're interested in that stuff, please leave some comments. Had some great conversation with some folks on that video. It's been a ton of fun. So leave the comments, please subscribe. Have a good night.